season finale inside Ford Field that was simply just incredible. I am so pleased with what we have seen this year from the Lions. And I know that there's an opportunity, now that we need the Rams to win and the Seahawks to lose, and there are some things that are out of the Lions' control where had they have just beaten Carolina, they would have controlled their destiny. But not focusing on, what could have, should have, would have happened. This game on Sunday against the Bears was a fabulous, fabulous football game, especially with the way that it started with Justin Fields running all over the place in those first two possessions. My goodness, the Detroit Lions, Jared Goff, 255, 3 touchdowns. Jamal Williams, 22 carries for 144 yards and a score. DeAndre Swift, 11 carries for 78 yards and a touchdown. On the receiving end, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 catches, 62 yards. DeAndre Swift had 4 for 39 with a touchdown. Brock Wright, the tight end, coming on strong here at the end of the year with a couple of touchdown receptions on 3 catches and 13 yards. DJ Chark, 2 for 56. Khalif Raymond, 3 for 40. James Mitchell, 1 for 15. The promising young tight end. Like what a game it was. And if you were watching the broadcast, you saw this statistic pop up as well, that Aiden Hutchinson became the first NFL rookie with 7.5 sacks, 3+ interceptions, and 2+ fumble recoveries in a single season. So congratulations to Hutch. Joined by his running mate, James Houston, once he finally got healthy, 7.5 sacks in 6 career games, the most all time in his first 6 NFL games. How great is that from Houston?
Yeah,
who has just been he's a professional sacker. That's what he does. He rushes the quarterback. That's where his bread and butter is. That's his job. And my goodness, is he good at it?
I wouldn't say Hutch is he's probably not the rookie of the year, but he's the defensive rookie playmaker of the year. That's for sure. Just he's not, it's defensive line. You just can't make plays constantly. As a cornerback or a safety, if the ball's getting thrown your way, you could make a play on it.
Do you think he doesn't?
He's just all over the field for a young defensive lineman to be doing what he's doing is insane. And with this coaching staff, like this inexperienced coaching staff too.
Do you think that he does not win Defensive Rookie of the Year?
Oh, it's Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, I'd say sadly no, because Sauce Gardner's in New York. So I feel like that's where all the attention is going. I'm not saying that's deserved. I'm just saying I think that's how it'll play out.
Really?
Yeah. Because of where the other guy plays. Because it seems like by week 3, everyone's like, Sauce Gardner, Rookie of the Year. We don't care what else happens.
Yeah, I don't know.
As the season has gone on, Hutchinson's gotten better. And part of it, too, is Sauce is like, if no one's throwing at you, you can't get stats.
Right. That is, and they might factor that in a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, Hutch has more picks than Sauce, right?
Probably.
I think. Boy, the play where they hit him over there on the sidelines and he was just hanging out like, dude, who draws that up? Like, what in God's green earth?
It's like the kick return where you lay the guy in the end zone because your jerseys are the same color as the end zone.
Yeah. You just lay him down there and try to, I think with 3 picks, I think he's got more than Sauce. I think. I mean, 3 picks puts him at tied for 20th in the league. For a defensive end, for a team that is 8-8, fighting for the playoffs, if they can knock out Aaron Rodgers, I don't know. I
could probably bet that Aiden Hutchinson might not have 3 more picks the rest of his career.
Yeah, fair bet.
And that's not a knock.
He's a defensive lineman. He's
right.
not supposed to.
He's made some great plays. He's had some lucky, the first 2 that were just out of pure luck and chance.
Well, I mean, that one in Green Bay played pretty well.
Well, I'm just saying, but it was just such a dud of a throw. I'm not taking away from him. It was he was in the right place at a really weird time.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, dud of a throw, just terrible. Just with a left-handed throw from Aaron Rodgers. Lions rookies James Houston, Aiden Hutchinson, and Josh Paschal combined to produce 5.5 sacks. That's the most sacks an NFL team's rookies have combined to produce in a single game since the Bills rookies registered 6 back on November 11th of 2001. So the most in over 20 years. The Lions also combined for 171 rushing yards in the game, which was pretty incredible, from their wide receivers. A new franchise record for the most combined rushing yards by wide receivers, ranks third in the NFL this season. They got 36 from Raymond, 40 from Jamison Williams on that end around that was beautiful. Amon-Ra St. Brown continues to play a huge role in the rushing game as well. For the first time in Lions franchise history, Detroit has 4,000 yards passing and 2,000 yards rushing in the same season. How good is that? 4,000 and 2K. I mean, my goodness. The Lions' only tight end tandem with at least 4 touchdowns apiece, or pardon me, the NFL's only tight end tandem with at least 4 touchdowns apiece are actually the Lions' Brock Wright and Shane Zylstra. The third time in franchise history, two tight ends have had 4 touchdowns in the same season.
So our friends over at DraftKings right now, minus 1,200 Sauce Gardner, plus 800 for Hutch.
Really?
Yep. Those might not be updated, but that was up until
going into the weekend.
Yes. So minus 1,200 is pretty crazy.
Jeez, that's boy. A lot of people are going to lose a lot of money there, aren't they? Lions rookies have combined for 18.5 sacks this season. That's tied for the second most sacks a team's rookies have produced in NFL history, with the 1999 Titans having 19. So the Lions have a chance to set that mark. The Lions tied with the 49ers in 1993 and the Niners in 1986 with 18.5. Like, it's for a team that couldn't get to the quarterback at all under Matt Patricia. What they have been able to do this year is simply remarkable. The evolution and the rebound from Jared Goff this year. I mean, Jared Goff has 4 games with a passer rating of over 120. That is tied for the most in franchise history. Greg Landry had 4 in 72. Bill Munson had 4 in 1968. Like, I could keep going. I could literally keep going with all the single-season franchise marks.
Did you get this one?
Put together.
This with Houston and Pascal both recording multiple sacks. 4th game in which rookie teammates each recorded multiple sacks in a game since 1982.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And, we were talking a little bit about Brad Holmes because in the group chat, the SOL thing came up. I'm not a big same old Lions guy. I don't think that with the amount of turnover that takes place every single year, I think it's impossible to say same old Lions, because if that was the case, then this team wouldn't make any progress, because Matt Patricia was the head coach 2 seasons ago. And we saw how bad their offense and defense was under Matt Patricia. And we talked about how historically slow that team was, just top to bottom, and how much better this team is at generating some pressure, the improvement in the play of the secondary. They just had a really, really bad outing against the Carolina Panthers. And it hurts because it was all right there for the taking. Now they're going to get a Green Bay team this weekend when they have the chance to send Green Bay packing and an opportunity. And we'll know ahead of time whether this game, what this game means, or if anything at all, for the Lions. But you look at the way that they beat the Bears on Sunday, the way that they handled them for 4 quarters, especially after the way that game started with Justin Fields running around like a crazy person to get that team into the end zone. I mean, his 34-yard, or pardon me, I'm trying to remember how far was that first run where it looked like he was just gliding. And it was 8 yards, 5 yards, just slow but sure pickups, and just marching that team down the field. They go up 7-0.
Do you want a crazy stat?
I love
this.
Crazy
This
stats.
is nothing to do with any of the games being It has something to do with the season overall. Since 1990, a streak of 33 seasons, at least 4 teams have qualified for the playoffs in every season that did not make it the year before. 33 straight seasons where 4 teams or more have made it that didn't make it the year before.
Yeah, I mean, that's the glory of the NFL, right? I mean, that's something we talk about going into the season. There's always going to be those teams that take a step back.
Let's make it 5 this year, Lions, please.
Got to have some help. Got to have some help. And I think that's
Come on, Rams. We gave you a quarterback to win a Super Bowl last year.
Do us a solid.
Time to return the favor.
Do us a solid. And even after Chicago, they all 10 of their points came in the first 2 drives. And it was 7-0, then it was 7-7. It's 10-7 after the field goal. Lions take the lead 14-10. Never look back. Game never felt like it was even going to be out of control. They would add a touchdown and a field goal and be up 24-10 at half. Once again, another game they go into halftime leading, and you're like, there's no chance Chicago doesn't have an opportunity to win this football
props
game.
to the Bears, and there's one other college team that did a variation of this play over the weekend where the new thing is on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, you rush that tight end up under center and sneak it, and Chicago rushed Cole Kmet up there to run a sweep to Justin Fields instead of doing the sneak. Great play call. And I don't know which college team did over the weekend. They did the same thing, rushed the tight end up there. The center hiked it through the tight end's legs back to the quarterback in shotgun.
Ooh, crafty.
Right. It was like, good job on those play callers. Like, you know what? This is getting a little played out. We're going to freshen it up a little bit.
Yeah, Justin Fields definitely he needs some help there. And look, he's the only reason Chicago had 10 points at all throughout the course of the game. But I'm not going to rely on the quarterback run game to be the end-all, be-all in the savior of my team. I just I don't believe in it. I've never been a believer in it. I'm not opposed to a quarterback scrambling. I just don't think it's in the best interest of your franchise to be running your franchise player time and time and time again. You know, we're early on in the game. I think that Chicago scores on the possession in which Justin Fields had taken a break right next to us against the truck. So the little cart with the double cameras on it that runs up and down the sidelines to give you that sideline view. He had been ran out of bounds, and he's splits the cheerleaders, and he leans up against the truck. And after a big scamper, he had already been brought down somewhat awkwardly from behind, and he got up a little gingerly. It's too early in the game to have that happen. You can't. You just cannot.
And at this point in the season, like,
what are you doing?
Like, take him out. Just take him out. Like, I think you've seen enough of him this year to know what you like of him. And to know, like, okay, this guy can be an NFL quarterback. He's shown enough glimpses. It's like, now it's on the organization to get him an offensive line that can pass protect, to get him wide receivers that can catch.
Like, let's not have him get rolled up on and, because shatter his ankle.
Some of his biggest runs this year have been not on design runs, from escaping sacks and then just busting out for 40 yards.
And I'm all for that. Like, if you want to extend a play, you keep your eyes down the field, nothing's there, you tuck it and run it because you see a lane and you could take it, you could slide, you can get out of bounds, you can avoid the hit. I'm all for quarterbacks being able to do that. But when you are reliant on your quarterback carrying it 10 times for 132 yards, if designed runs for your quarterback are in the playbook, I'm just not a fan. I don't think it does anything for the longevity of the young man. And that's the position that, you're paying guys to literally protect him. So let them do their job. And if it's not there, the other part of it is, okay, if you can extend a play and you can run it, you can gain 10, 15, 20 yards, by all means, go right ahead. If there's an opportunity for you to do the Jalen Hurts and just chuck that thing out of bounds and live to play another day, live to play another day. Because it only takes one weird tackle for you to sprain your shoulder, for you to roll your ankle, for you to hurt your hand, and then all of a sudden the trajectory of your franchise starts to get a little shaky if you take that guy out. Like, anybody who had any questions about Jalen Hurts being the most valuable player this year, just look at the Philadelphia Eagles and what he has meant to. They lost by 10 to New Orleans. Their offense really has just hit full stop without Jalen Hurts in there with that shoulder sprain. You can't. Sometimes it's fluke plays. For me, it's about mitigating the risk. And if I can mitigate the risk by that quarterback not having designed runs, unless, of course, it's like 4th and 1, you need a sneak, then by all means, take the snap, put your head down, sneak it right in there, do the old Tom Brady. The guys made it an absolute art. Outside of that, I'm good. And if you're the Detroit Lions, regardless of what happens this Sunday, I am overly pleased with how this season has went. They have exceeded my expectation. I am happy about the progress that we have seen both offensively and defensively. I think you look at, interior line, you look at linebacker, you obviously look at some help in the secondary. Your offense is pretty much, with a healthy Jamison Williams, DJ Chark was on a 1-year deal. So, what do you want to do about that? Your offense is in really, really good shape right now as from an entirety standpoint, from the 30,000 feet view. Where do we stand? I think offense is in, good position. What are we going to do? How are we going to add a little bit more to this defense to where, as Dan Campbell talked about, now that they've been able to have this stretch of 7 out of 9, you start to feel a lot different about where this team could be moving forward. And Dan Campbell talked about it as much. Like now it's about divisions, right? Now it's about winning the division. Now it's about trying to get, to the playoffs and to host a playoff game. He knows what it would mean, and try to avoid that. Inevitable is not good. It's not the right word choice, but try to avoid that precarious letdown next season after all the positive momentum that you've built this season. I don't think that they will see that, and we'll see if they can keep most of this roster intact. We'll see if they can keep most of this coaching staff intact.